So first of all, John, let's explain the Ohio Home Inspection Board, what it is and what it does.
Okay. Thanks so much, Gary, for having me, and I love being on your show. As you know, back in the day, we were not licensed home inspectors.
That's weird.
Weird. And it went on for many years.
That was kind of rogue.
Oh, it was. And believe it or not, Kentucky was licensed way before Ohio.
Kentucky's been ahead of Cincinnati and Ohio for eons.
It really is.
When it comes to technology.
Absolutely. So the biggest purchase that you make in your life, typically for most of us, and you had people going through your home, that most of us were very capable of doing because we were ASHI members. But there are a lot of folks out there that weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about education and how we inspect the home. And so the board, probably about 5 years ago, believe it or not, a senator in Columbus had a home inspection done. And we'd tried prior to that 10 years to get licensing. Well, the senator had a home inspection done, and a major issue was missed.
Mm.
And, buddy, that's when it started. And that's what started us to be licensed, believe it or not, in the state. So anyway, basically what the Ohio board is Governor DeWine 3 years ago picked a board of 7 members. I was one of them chosen throughout the state. I was elected to be chairperson of the board. I've got 2 more year term on the board. And what it does, it governs, and we had to set up our standards of practice, just as the realtors have, appraisers have. We made standards of practice plus Ohio ethics that the guys have to follow. And it was kind of, I call it the Bible of my industry. And from that, the inspector goes through the list, goes through and then does the inspection by the standards, which actually protects, definitely it protects the consumer because it's telling them what we're checking. But more importantly, it also states what we didn't inspect or can't see.
Mm-hmm.
So the expectation is set for the buyer.
And we'll talk about some of those things, too, during our show today. But
absolutely.
That's quite an honor to be chosen to be chairperson. Now, it was your committee or the board who devised the testing questions and requirements for the Ohio home inspectors that they needed to qualify for.
Absolutely, and under the leadership of Ann Pettit, who's superintendent of the Commerce Department, and I have to say that Ann's retiring in June, and I'm going to hate that because she's guided us through this mission. She calls us we're her baby. And what I mean by that is she had never started a industry from scratch all the way through, and so we're pretty proud of what we're doing up there.
That is really cool. Yeah. Well, there's only 3 absolutes in life, John, and I've mentioned this on the show before. Number 1 is we're all going to die.
Yeah.
Number 2 is your taxes always go up.
Absolutely.
And number 3, everything changes.
Everything changes, absolutely. So.
And, you and I have been in this business a long time. I'm over 30 years, and I have been through the ups and the downs. And, our market today is a definite seller market, which is not great for buyers, and that's why we're here today, is to caution buyers in that wild and crazy negotiation of multiple offers. Don't just stop it. Stop waiving important things just to get the house, because if you get the house and a year later you find out that there's something major going on that shoulda, coulda, woulda been disclosed had they did an inspection, you could have worked through that before you moved in, and now here you're sitting with a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 bill that you weren't expecting.
Absolutely.
Duh. What did you really gain?
At the last board meeting we had up in Columbus, we had your president of the Ohio OAR was there speaking, and that was one of the concerns. As we are all consumer advocates, that's why I'm on the board, or I wouldn't be. It's a non-paid position. I want to make sure I state that. It's a lot of time. It's to build my industry. But it's all about everything that Ann states. Is all about consumer protection. That's number 1.
It's about giving back.
Giving back, and that's what your president mentioned was. We're really worried about the folks that are waiving these inspections because as you know. These folks are paying $30,000, $50,000 over asking price, And then next year you find out you've got a foundation issue.
Yep.
I mean, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to pay. And if you don't do the inspection, it's really opening liability up to I think even to the seller.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so it's
and when they find that out after they move in a year from now, who are they going to call? Me.
Absolutely. The realtor gets the first call, and then, yeah.
And who was possibly likely the one who suggested waiving the inspections?
I mean, it's
fellow realtors. If you're suggesting that, I'm just giving you a great big caution, and I'm just going to say it on the open air. Stop it.
Absolutely.
We I don't know if our E&O insurance covers that kind of liability.
Yeah.
And to be at fault for a buyer being disgruntled over the home that they bought, finding out that the plumbing system is shot from the house to the street, you're looking 10, 15, 20 grand to get that.
Absolutely. Here's a shocking statistic. 22% of home buyers last year waived home inspections.
I read that, yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. And everybody thinks in our industry that how busy we are because how the market, well, as you know, there's less homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tons of buyers, less homes. And then on my side, we're getting nicked 22% on that side. So there's a lot of inspectors out there that are hurting, to be quite honest, throughout the state. We're quite blessed here in this market, but your show here, it's education, and